I'm going to fangirl so much in this video. Hey, it's Raina. So if you didn't already know, I went to Warped Tour on July 29th on Wednesday, and if you didn't know that, what are you doing? I posted a vlog. Go watch it. Go! It'll be right here in the description. Go! I'll just sit here and wait until you watch it. Did you watch it? Okay, good. So yeah, I went to Warped Tour, and it was my first Warped Tour, and it was so much fun, and my voice is still a little hoarse, so I'm sorry, but I met two internet friends there, Paige and Riley, and it was so amazing meeting them. I've never met internet friends before, and so meeting them was really, really exciting, and I don't know, it was a really fun day. So if you watched my vlog, which I hope you did because I just told you to go watch it, then you would know that I told you a few things, but I didn't really explain everything because everything was still kind of like jumbled around in my head, and I was just really excited and fangirly, and I didn't really know what to say or anything. So I'm going to start from the beginning. I woke up at 7 a.m. and got dressed, did my makeup and stuff, and then my ride got here at 8, and so then I got in the car, obviously, and we drove to Warped Tour and got there around 9 o'clock, and I just kind of like waited in line and stuff, and I was texting Riley, and then she told me that she was like behind me in line, so I went and found her, and then she went up in line with us, and we started talking and everything. Then the doors opened, so we walked in, and we kind of like parted ways because I wanted to get to the Say We Can Fly tent first. So we walked around for like an hour trying to find Brayden's tent. Sorry, it was so hot, and I was so irritated because we literally ran around for like an hour trying to find Brayden's tent. Finally, we found it, and so then when we got there, I got a Say We Can Fly shirt. This Say We Can Fly shirt, it says Stay Cozy, and then Say We Can Fly down there, and he signed it right there. Can you see that? Okay, you can. Good. So yeah, I got this, and I really, really love it. I also got this Say We Can Fly bracelet. It just says Say We Can Fly on it all around, and then it has his little signature bird thing on there, and it's really cute. So yeah, after that we kind of walked around for a little bit. We ran into the YouTubers tent, and so we went there and we bought a couple shirts. I got this Damon Fizzy shirt, and it says messy hair don't care, and I wore it yesterday, so it's a little bit wrinkly, so just ignore that. But when I met them, he did sign it right there, so that's really cool. And then I also got this Peace Keys bracelet, which is a Damon Fizzy thing, and it just says Peace Keys on it, and then D-Fizzy on the back there, and it's really cute. And if you didn't notice by now, I am wearing my Jordan Sweeto shirt that I got there, and I love this shirt so much, and he signed it. Hold on. Can you see that? He signed it right there. So anyways, after we bought the shirts and everything, we just kind of walked around a little bit more. We did ask the lady at the tent, when the meetup was, and she said 3:30, and I was like, okay, we have plenty of time, and we were walking around and stuff. And then later, my friend Riley texted me and said that the meetup was at 1:30, and I'm like, what? So after Riley texted me, we ran to the YouTubers tent and got in line for the meetup, and I realized that the lady at the tent had told me 3:30 because that was when the signing was, and I had asked for the meetup. So the meetup was at 1:30, and then the signing was at 3:30, so yeah. So Riley, I know you're watching this, and thank you so much for texting me and telling me that the meetup was at 1:30 because I would have missed it completely. So we got in line, and we were just kind of standing there, and I met this girl online. She was pretty nice, and then another girl behind me, so I made some new friends. So then I texted Paige and told her I was in line, and she was like, okay, I'll come find you. So I was just kind of like standing there waiting for Paige to come, and I was really nervous. And I was talking to some of the people in line, and then the person that I went to Warped Tour with, he just kind of like looked at me and kind of pointed behind me, and I was like, what? And so I turned around, and there's Paige just doing this. She was literally just staring at me like that, and so I looked at her like this. So I was just looking at her like, do I know this girl? Like, is this Paige? Do I know her? And then I was like, I do know this girl. That's Paige. And so we ran towards each other and hugged each other, and it was really, really cute, and everybody around us was like, oh, you know, and it was really cute. And then I was really mad because nobody recorded it. So then what we did was we reenacted it, which was not as cute as the first time, but oh well. So then me and Paige talked the whole time we were in line waiting to meet the YouTubers, and I don't know, it was just really, really cool because I'd never met an internet friend before, and Paige is so sweet. She's so nice. So as the line started to move and more people met the YouTubers, we got up farther, and when there were like maybe 5 people in front of us, we could see the YouTubers, and we were like fangirling and screaming, and well, not screaming, I guess, just kind of like we were having breathing problems. Especially Paige, she was like having a heart attack, I think. But anyway, it was almost our turn, and I was looking at the YouTubers, and I saw Jordan, and he was looking down the line, and so I smiled and waved at him, and I kid you not, he smiled and waved at me, like me. He looked at me and waved, and I was just like, oh my god. So then it was my turn to meet them, and so I walked up, and Brian was first, and so I hugged him, and I gave him his stuffed tiger because I had stuffed animals for all of the YouTubers. So I gave him that, and he liked it, and I got a picture with him. And then I moved on to Jordan, and I gave him this stuffed pig, and he did his little sound thing he does all the time when he's really excited or happy. So he made that sound, and I about died because that was the first time I'd ever heard it in person, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so he seemed to like it, so that was good. And I hugged him, and I told him how much he means to me and how happy he makes me, and he was like, aw, oh my gosh. I really did not want to say goodbye to Jordan, but I had to. The line was moving, so I moved on to Johnny, and I gave him this little stuffed red bear, and I hugged him and got a picture with him, and then moved on to Damon. And of course, I was having malfunctions. I was trying to pull his gift out, and all these like wires and cords were falling out of my bag, and I was just like, oh my gosh, why? This is so embarrassing. I just kind of like looked at him, and I was like, I'm having problems. And he was like, oh, that's okay. And so, and I pushed the cords back into my bag, and I pulled out this stuffed frog that I had got for him, and I handed it to him and got my picture with him, and then I had to go because I was being rushed. Which, by the way, I need to point out, their manager, security guy, Andrew, I think that's his name, he's so mean. He seems really nice in the Snapchats and everything. He seems like a really cool dude, so I thought that he would be really cool in person, but he's actually really, like, not very nice to the fans. I got a picture with him, but I don't know, he was just kind of very, I don't know, I didn't like his attitude, and I'll explain why later. So after I got my picture with Damon and I gave him his stuffed animal, I had to get out of line because there were other people behind me trying to meet them. And so I got out of line and waited for my friends to get finished. And I just kind of like stood there like, oh my gosh, did that just happen? So then Paige and the girl that she came with were done, and they walked over to me, and we just kind of like started fangirling about it. So then we got back in line to wait for the signing. So we just kind of sat down on the grass and waited because the YouTubers had already left and the signing was at 3:30. So we just kind of waited for like an hour and a half. And at one point, Riley joined us. She sat down and like talked to us for a little bit. And we got some pictures, and they were really, really cute. And then she left to go get in line for the As It Is signing. And so she was kind of like saving our place for after we were done with the YouTubers. So anyway, the signing came, and we started going up the line and everything. And I got there, and I walked up to Damon, and I handed him my Messy Hair Don't Care shirt, and he signed it. And then I was like, oh, hey, can you sign my shoe? And he was like, sure, no problem. And so I lifted my leg up on the table, and he signed my shoe. So here's my shoe. He signed it. Proof. Right there. He signed it. So, of course, this was a big deal for me, so I wanted to record it, and so I had my phone out recording, and this is the part where I tell you why I didn't like Andrew's attitude. They had said before no pictures at the signing, but they hadn't said no videos, so I didn't know that it wasn't allowed. So as Damon was signing my shoe, Andrew was like, no more shoes after this, no more. And I wanted the others to sign my shoe, or at least Jordan, but no, he was like, no more shoes, and I was like, fine, whatever. And he noticed that I was recording, so he said, oh, you can't do that. Well, wait, no. First he said, no pictures, and I said, oh, it's just a video, and he said, yeah, you can't do that. I'm like, okay. He was just really rude. Like, come on, a video is not hurting anyone. I just wanted to record him signing my shoe, and he was just not being very nice at all. So yeah, I didn't have a very positive experience with him. So then I walked over to Jordan, and he signed this shirt, and I hugged him, and okay, so when I hugged him, I don't know, I was just really hugging him really tight, and he was hugging me really tight, and then he tried to pull away, and I kept hugging him. And so I kept hugging him, and as he tried to pull away, he realized that I was not done, and so he went back in and hugged me tighter for longer, and it was just really emotional. Like, he cares so much. He realizes, like, how happy he makes me and how much he means to me, and so he just, he realized I wasn't ready to just leave yet. So he held on and he hugged me for a little bit longer, and just, guys, he's the sweetest thing ever. So after the signing, we ran over to the As It Is line where Riley was and got in line with her. So I didn't really know what to have them sign, so I just grabbed a piece of paper out of my bag because I just wanted to be in front of them, you know what I mean? So I was walking up there and I had them all sign this piece of paper. I had them all sign this piece of paper here. You can see all of their signatures are just right there. There's Patty's. Look at how cute. So yeah. And I didn't know this at the time, but they were going to have a meetup later where you could take pictures with them, but I didn't know that. And so when I got in front of Patty, I said, "Hey, can I take a picture with you really quickly?" I knew that pictures weren't allowed, but I thought maybe Patty would stretch the rules or something. I don't really know. But he smiled his sunshine smile at me and said, "Oh, we're doing a meetup later and you can take pictures then." And I was like, "Okay." And so he signed it, and then the rest signed it, and then we walked away. So then everyone just kind of like parted ways. Me and Paige walked off and just kind of did our own thing, walked around. And as we were walking around, we ran into Brayden. It had started to sprinkle, and we were like looking up at the sky, like, "Oh, hey, it's about to rain. I think it's sprinkling." And then we look up, and I just see this guy with black glasses and black hair and a beanie walking towards us. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I know him. It's Brayden." And so he was walking past us, and I said, "Hey, Brayden." And he was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And he looked like he had somewhere to be, so I didn't want to hold him up. And so I was just like, "Hey, I'm going to your set later." And he was like, "Okay, cool, see you there." And then me and Paige just kind of like walked away, like fangirling and freaking out. And he was talking to some other girls along the way. So after that, me and Paige walked around, and we found her friend and her friend's mom in like the parents' daycare tent thing. And even though they had said no kids allowed, there were kids everywhere in there. And so we sat down in there for a little bit, drank some water, kind of cooled down, and then we left to meet Patty Walters because they were having their meetup. So we ran over to the As It Is tent, and there was like no one there. There was like 3 people there. So we got there just in time. We got in line, and I went up to Patty and I hugged him, got a picture with him, and then I said, "This might sound weird, but I love your smile a lot, and it makes me really happy, and it's just like a ray of sunshine to me." And these were his words. He said, "Aw, thank you. You just made my day." And I was just like, "Oh, okay." I made Patty Walters' day, apparently. What? After he said that, he gave me another hug, and then I walked away to let Paige get her picture with him. He's seriously the sweetest thing ever. He is so nice. After that, me and Paige parted ways because she went to go watch someone else. I'm not really sure who. I forget. It might have been Attila. So then we walked over to the acoustic basement booth tent thing because Say We Can Fly was about to perform, and there was already a lot of people there, so I was kind of bummed because I wanted to be right in front, but oh well. So I just kind of stood around and I talked to a girl that I was standing next to, and then Brayden came on, and I turned my phone on and I recorded every single song he did. So the songs Brayden did were Song of the Sparrow, Intoxicated I Love You, Drown by Bring Me the Horizon, The Poet, Bruise My Bones, and Scars. So he did 6 songs, and after that, he told everyone that he would be at his tent meeting people. So even though I'd already met him, I ran over to his tent and got in line to meet him again, because by this time I was wearing my Stay Cozy shirt, and I wanted him to sign it. So I met him, and he signed my shirt, and he also signed my shoe. So he signed this shoe, but honestly, it just looks like a bunch of scribbles, but whatever, it's the thought that counts. So yeah, he signed my shoe and my Stay Cozy shirt. And then after that, we had some time before the As It Is show, so we just kind of walked around, and we noticed that Pierce the Veil were performing, and so we kind of stood around and watched them for a little bit. They did King for a Day. We only caught like the last 2 songs, so that was kind of sad, but you know. So we watched Pierce the Veil, and then we walked away to go back to the YouTuber's tent because I had remembered that I had not gotten a Jordan Speedo bracelet, and I really wanted one. So I ran over to the YouTuber's tent only to find that everything was packed up, and I asked the girl there, "Hey, is it too late for me to buy another bracelet?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry." And I saw the boxes of the bracelets just sitting right there, and I was like, "But the bracelets are just sitting right there. Like, can I just buy one?" And she was like, "Sorry, we already did inventory." And I was just like, "Alright, okay." So I guess that was my fault for not buying everything at once. I thought, oh, I'll buy a little bit and go away and come back, and that was my mistake. So if you go to Warped Tour, make sure that you buy absolutely everything that you are wanting right then. Like, don't wait until last minute, because I did, and now I do not have a Jordan Sweeto bracelet. So then we walked over to the right foot stage, and Riff Raff was performing, and so we just kind of like sat there, waited for him to be done, and then As It Is came on, and I got into like the crowd, and I was having fun. I was dancing, jumping, singing along, and I swear, Patty is so energetic and he interacts with the crowd, and I just love it. So I had my friend record the whole show because I wanted to dance and have fun, and I couldn't do that if I was holding a phone because I want it to be stable and not all jumpy, because I hate it when people record but yet they move around and jump and do that, and it's just annoying. But yeah, he recorded for me while I jumped around and had fun, and they did my favorite song, Dial Tones, last, and it was amazing. And after they were done, Set It Off went on, and so we watched their whole set, and they did my favorite song, Why Worry? And after Set It Off was done, Cody Carson said, "Anyone who did not meet me, go out to the exit gates, and I will meet everyone." So after he said that, we ran to the exit gate. We bolted. And we just kind of like stood around and waited for him to come out, and there was a lot of people just like standing around, obviously waiting for him. And we saw him coming, but all the gates were closed already, and all the security guards were like trying to talk him out of it. I think we couldn't hear what they were saying, but we could tell he was like arguing with them. And so basically, like, I guess he was probably saying something like, "Come on, please, like, let me do this, it's fine." And they were like, "No, you're gonna get hurt, these fangirls are gonna eat you up, like they're gonna kill you." I don't really know, but finally he persuaded them to let him come out, and he had a security guard with him, of course. And there was this really scary security guy. He was like 6 foot something, like, I don't know, like 6'5". I don't really know. He was huge, and he had the deepest voice, and he was really scary. Like, apparently everybody was not lined up perfectly for him, so he was like, "You guys, you went to high school. You need to know how to make a line. If you don't know how to be in a line, you need to go back to high school." And I'm just like, what? Anyway, I met a couple girls in line, and we kind of talked and stuff, and I told them that I met Patty, and they were really jealous, and I showed them the picture and everything. And then it was my turn to meet Cody and got my picture with him, and I didn't know how to do the set it off symbol thing, and so he took my fingers and positioned them. He was like, "These three, just pretend like they're glued, and then do this and that." And we did that. And so we did like the symbol. Oh my gosh, I need to learn how to do it again. Hold on. Okay, there it is. There it is. We did that. He taught me how to do that. And because Cody Carson taught me how to do this, I will never, ever forget now. After I met him, we walked back to the car, got in, I got home, I told my mom about everything, and then I went to bed because I was exhausted. So that was on Wednesday, and then on Thursday was my rest day, and then on Friday I went to a One Direction concert with my cousin. So my voice has just not had any resting time, basically. Hopefully it'll be a lot better soon because I sound awful. And yeah, I guess that's it. I'm pretty sure I covered everything and talked about everything in depth. So yeah, that was my Warped Tour experience, and it was a lot of fun, and I kind of want to go back next year, but at the same time I about had heat stroke and died. Because I didn't get to meet all the bands that I wanted to. I did not get to see BB Rexa perform, I did not get to see Icon for Hire, and I did not get to see Black Veil Brides, sadly. I did see them last year though, but I really wanted to see Icon for Hire because I really love Ariel, and she's like my idol and my style icon, and I didn't get to meet her or even see her perform, and I was really sad. So hopefully if they go next year, I am going, and she is my priority. I will do that over anything else. I will go to the Icon for Hire show. I don't care if I'm about dying of heat stroke, because that's what happened this time. I missed her because I about died. So next year, if Icon for Hire goes, I am going. I will find a way to go, and I will go to that show, and I will meet her, and it will be amazing. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and if you go to Warped Tour, make sure you drink a lot of water, and you rest, and don't run, because I ran places, and then I felt like I was dying, and my head was just like boom 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 boom, and I got a headache at one point, but then it went away. But just make sure you drink, and whatever you do, do not wear black, like a lot of black. I wore a black Little Bride shirt, and I changed into my white So We Can Fly because I was dying. And I almost wore black skinny jeans, and so don't wear black skinny jeans because I was wearing shorts and I almost died. Yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna make you suffer through my voice anymore. Um, bye. There is a gnat flying around here. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. You are not needed here. I am not doing a collab right now. Get out of here.